The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us here at 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
We have new details this morning about two administration officials' high-stakes visit to Ukraine.
The trip comes as the conflict enters its third month. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington with the latest.
For the first time since Russia's invasion, cabinet-level officials set foot in Ukraine.
An important moment for Ukraine, for the war. An important moment to have face-to-face conversations in detail.
Their war zone trip comes at a critical time. Russia's attacks in eastern Ukraine have intensified, with evidence of more mass graves uncovered. President Zelenskyy urged the U.S. secretaries not to show up empty-handed.
We expect not just gifts or some cakes. We are expecting specific things and specific weapons.
A plea repeated during their meeting in Kyiv.
We are doing everything that we can to get them the types of support, the types of artillery and munitions that will be effective in this stage of the fight.
The administration also announcing President Biden's plan to nominate an ambassador to Ukraine and return U.S. diplomats to the capital city.
We're doing it deliberately. We're doing it carefully. We're doing it with the security of our personnel foremost in mind, but we're doing it.
The talks took place Sunday as Ukrainians and Russians observed Orthodox Easter. President Putin attending a service in Moscow. Many Ukrainians grieving the dead and not giving up hope.
We believe that we can win. They can win.
U.S. officials vowing ongoing financial and military aid for Ukraine. On Tuesday, Defense Secretary Austin will meet with allies from more than 20 nations to discuss long-term aid for Ukraine. That meeting takes place in Germany. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for NBC News.
Also making news around the world, Emanuel Macron re-elected as president of France yesterday. The centrist incumbent won an estimated 58% of the vote. That will spare France and its allies in Europe and beyond political upheaval during wartime. His far-right opponent Marine Le Pen won an estimated 41.8% of the vote. This was the second time the two faced off in a presidential election.
17 News is your local election headquarters, and a California GOP convention took place this weekend where Bakersfield Republican Kevin McCarthy was a keynote speaker. 17's Maddie Gannon has more from Anaheim.
Some of the biggest names in California Republican politics all gathered for a three-day convention right here at the Anaheim Marriott as they gear up for the 2022 midterms.
The goal is preparing for November 8th. It is about winning elections, and we have that opportunity.
In one of the bluest states in the nation, this weekend, Anaheim serving as a conservative enclave where California GOP chairwoman Jessica Patterson is confident her party and Bakersfield's own Kevin McCarthy will win big.
I think that California Republicans are going to be helping in making sure we take back the House in 2022. And when that happens, he is going to be the next Speaker of the House.
Republican leader Kevin McCarthy.
McCarthy himself taking the podium Saturday night.
Very good to be back.
Touting his platform for Republicans in the midterm election, curbing inflation, securing the southern border, stopping the influx of fentanyl, and coming down hard on what Democrats have accomplished when in control of the White House and both chambers of Congress the last year and a half.
If we only had an election about policies, I don't think there'd be a Democrat in this nation. Who thought just in 1 year with one-party rule so much could go so wrong?
This comes as the House Minority Leader has been in the spotlight, with the New York Times releasing recordings of phone calls between McCarthy and top GOP lawmakers after the January 6th Capitol attack, where McCarthy says he would consider recommending former President Donald Trump resign before he is potentially impeached for his role in the riot. McCarthy avoiding any mention of the tapes in his speech to delegates, but calling out CNN and MSNBC, the news outlets that aired the phone call recordings, specifically speaking about CNN's new streaming channel shutting down weeks after launching.
Now, on Election Day, I want to give the Democrats the exact same thing CNN Plus was given this week. Let's cancel them once and for all. You know, I shouldn't really pick on CNN and MSNBC. You know, they got more letters in their names than they have viewers.
We are less than 2 months from the midterm primary election. Ballots will start hitting mailboxes the second week of May. From the California GOP convention in Anaheim, Maddie Gannon, 17 News.
Your time now is 5:07. Back here at home, 2 people were killed in a crash early yesterday morning on Highway 99, just north of Highway 46. The California Highway Patrol says the deadly crash was reported just after 2:30 a.m. in the northbound lanes. That's where a vehicle collided with the back of a semi-truck, according to the CHP Traffic Incident Information page. 2 people were reportedly killed. Another suffered moderate injuries. The cause of the crash was not immediately known.
The Bakersfield Police Department and California Highway Patrol arrested 6 people on Saturday night as part of a joint street racing enforcement operation. The Zero Tolerance operation targeted offenses related to illegal street racing, which police say has repeatedly put people at risk. According to police, numerous car crashes in Bakersfield have been linked to illegal street racing, some of which led to serious injury and sometimes even death. In addition to the 6 arrests, officers issued 29 citations and impounded 7 or 10 cars. In your 17 Health Watch this morning, a fundraiser at a local elementary school has a new beneficiary this year. Downtown Elementary's Penny Wars will benefit the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation thanks to one courageous kindergartner. 17's Chris Burton has the story.
Downtown Elementary's Penny Wars fundraiser was supposed to raise around $5,000. The school raised more than triple that. At the center of it all was one kindergartner.
How does it feel to know that your whole school helped raise all this money for the foundation?
Great.
Devlin Allen was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when he was just 2 weeks old.
Sticky mucus grows in my lungs. That makes it harder for me to breathe.
Devlin is eager to talk about the condition, and his family, looking for a way to raise awareness and funds, worked with Downtown Elementary to make the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation the beneficiary of this year's fundraiser.
And then it just blew up. And nobody expected this level of success or this level of just community, but we are so grateful and just so blown away.
Penny Wars, held during Downtown Spirit Week just before spring break, pulled in more than $15,000. The whole community motivated by Devlin's courage and charm.
I don't think he really realizes that this is all like directly influenced by him. I don't think he gets it that you know, a fundraiser that usually pulls in $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 pulled in $15,000 because like to meet him is to love him.
That was 17's Chris Burton reporting. Your time now is 5:34. The CDC has issued a nationwide health alert about a cluster of serious hepatitis cases in young children. Health officials in Alabama are investigating 9 cases involving children 6 and younger who were recently hospitalized with significant liver injuries. Dozens of similar cases have also been reported in the UK. Some symptoms for parents to look out for include abdominal pain, jaundice, and nausea.
Now to the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic, and Kern Public Health on Friday announced 183 new cases. The Public Health Department also announced 12 new deaths associated with the virus. Now, keep in mind, they only release data twice a week now on Tuesdays and Fridays. Since the beginning of the pandemic, Kern County has lost 2,356 lives to COVID-19. State data shows 16 people are in the hospital in Kern County, 7 more are in the ICU. A new study from UCSF shows that COVID-19 vaccines have prevented tens of thousands of deaths in California alone. According to the study, vaccines prevented about 1.5 million infections, nearly 73,000 hospitalizations, and almost 20,000 deaths in the state. Right now, more than 70% of Californians are considered fully vaccinated.
Your time now is 5:35. In education news, CityServe Kern County on Friday announced the grand reopening of the CityServe Educational Collaborative. The partnership with Bakersfield College provides educational courses, job training such as welding, and life skill classes for anyone interested. Each 8-week cohort of classes honors the students with a graduation ceremony and certificate of completion.
The center is here to walk alongside individuals through a variety of ways. We walk through life, career, education, development, and really support them in trying to figure out what their next steps are and empower them to walk their own journey and take ownership in that journey, but hand in hand with the folks here that you see today.
To learn more about the Educational Collaborative, just head to cityservenetwork.com.
5:36 is our time now, and making news around town this morning. Thousands of people went to the Bakersfield Flea Market over the weekend searching for hidden treasure. 17's Marco Torres reports.
The annual Village Flea Market returns to the Kern County Museum, where thousands of people came out to get deals on antiques, handmade items, and knickknacks from local vendors. Tables filled with hidden treasures. This flea market had dozens of vendors selling stuff all throughout the Kern County Museum.
Been going 4 years now, really about antiques, collectibles, vintage, but it really is a good day for family.
The museum says thousands of people came to the event with their families. Items like old-fashioned radios, a taxidermy bear, and a scrap metal mariachi band were some of the standout pieces. The vendors were also eager to be at this year's market.
Also really nice to be able to participate with the community and these kind of things. This is a well-attended event, and people look forward to this one.
Other wares included jewelry, iconic memorabilia from Disney and Coke, and an array of discounted furniture. There was a resting area with a food truck for people to take things slow and enjoy their time.
If you want to go buy your interior furnishings at a chain store and look like all your neighbors, fine. But if you want to have unique interior decorating and have some interesting vintage pieces in your home, you need to come check out your flea markets and your antique stores here in Bakersfield.
The Kern County Museum's next event is called Get Lit, which will be on May 13th. More information on that can be found on our website at kget.com. From the Kern County Museum, Marco Torres, 17 News.
The Bakersfield Police Department recently teamed up with Dick's Sporting Goods in Northwest Bakersfield to give shopping sprees to 10 local kids in need. Each police officer was given a $100 gift card to spend on their kid.
I think we all well exceeded it and just spoiled our kids a little bit. I think one said he spent $400 on his 2 kids that he had. So, I mean, for us, it wasn't like the price that mattered. It was more of just the kids' happiness, and whatever they wanted, we were like, hey, we're here to serve you.
Meantime, the Kern County Sheriff's Office held its 8th annual honor run on Saturday at Hart Park, the first since 2018. The event raises money for the children of fallen deputies. Organizers say this year's race was dedicated to fallen Deputy Philip Campus, who was killed during a standoff in Wasco back on July 25th.
The citizens have been very supportive. They always have been my whole 20-year career when I was here. And just like showing today, we've had a high turnout here. I'd say probably 150 to 200 runners and more family members that are here supporting the cause.
Event organizers say the money raised helps provide scholarships and more for children who have lost parents in the line of duty.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.